Okay. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say?
I sit down.
What?
I sit down.
You why you acting shy? Okay, let's start over.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Hey YouTube. Hey YouTube.
I did too.
Hey YouTube. Lala wanted to do my intro with me today, so she's acting kind of shy on camera. Say hey.
Hey.
Look at him. Say hey. Okay. Now you gonna go sit down while I tell him a story?
No.
No.
Mm.
Okay. Alright. 1, 2, 3. What's up YouTube? It's your boy D, and I'm back with another video. And I know you guys have been wondering where I've been, so today we're gonna do story time. So let's get right into the video. Alright guys, so let's get right into the video. Where do I start? I had recorded a good bit of videos for you guys that I was planning on releasing. So I had a GoPro bag, my equipment. I have a GoPro Hero 9 Black, my Canon mirrorless camera. I had a few gimbals, lights, microphones, and everything, and my MacBook. So I carry that around in my backpack along with my wallet every day because you never know when you're gonna need content. So this particular day, we're going to the auction, and my mom beats me up there. So I'm taking this Infiniti G35 I have to sell. It needed brake fluid, so I was like, you know what, we get to the auction, we run it through, and we'll let the next person deal with it. But my mom was already up there, and she insisted that I stop and get brake fluid. So me, I'm already running late because I ain't never on time for nothing. I won't be on time for my own funeral, so it is what it is. So I stop at AutoZone in Anderson, South Carolina to get brake fluid. I leave the car running, my stupidity, but I had the key in my pocket. So if you have a push button start car, you should know that you can lock the door and leave it running at the same time. So I walk inside. There's a guy over here buying a battery to my right. There's a guy to the left buying a roll of tape. So I done grabbed the brake fluid. I'm ready to go. I'm in line. The guy buying the battery goes out the door. Now, let's rewind a little bit. When I pulled up, there was a guy already working on his car with the hood up. We'll come back to that later. He speaks to me and he says, hello, how you doing? Have a great day. I go inside. Back to getting the brake fluid. I'm in line. The guy buying the battery walks out. Now I get ready to get in line. The guy buying the roll of tape walks out. So I get right behind him and I'm checking out. And as I'm paying for my brake fluid, I hear tires screeching. I look out. My car is being Tokyo drifted out of the parking lot back up the hill. So I come back inside. I'm like, can anybody take me to get my car? I'll give you $1,000 today. Just take me. Everybody looked around at me like I was crazy. One dude said he didn't even have a car. He was riding with somebody else. So I walked back outside. The guy buying the roll of tape was like, hey man, isn't that your car? I said, yeah. He said, my truck ain't fast, but let's go after him. I said, thank you, man. I left the change for the brake fluid. I left everything. We hopped in the truck, and we go up the hill, and we can see him just going right up over the peak. We get up there. We looking for him. We don't see him nowhere. So we stop by the gas station where these two highway patrol had somebody pulled over. I get out. I'm like, yo, officer, somebody just stole my car. Like, they literally probably just came by here a few seconds ago speeding. And he's like, calm down, man, calm down. We'll figure it out. What kind of car is it? So I told him. I had my phone in the car, everything. I was like, can I use your phone, please? I need to call my mother because she's at the auction waiting on me to bring this car. And he was like, sure. So he sent it out to dispatch, and now you're seeing cops riding around everywhere. And I call my mom, and I tell her what happened. And she calls my aunt, and my aunt somehow winds up with my phone. She called my phone, and a guy answered, and she was like, hello? He was like, hey. She was like, this is my nephew's phone. How do you have it? He said, a car just went flying up the road. I work construction on the road, and I see them throw it out the window. She said, well, I need to get that. That's my nephew's phone. So she went and met him, got my phone. So we sitting here at the store trying to figure out where this car could have went or what. My friend pulls up, And he thought, like, I guess he thought I was going to jail or something. And he was like, yo, you okay? I was like, yeah. He was like, what's going on? I was like, somebody stole the car I was driving down at AutoZone. He's like, what kind of car is it? I was like, it's a 2007 Infiniti G35. It's silver. He was like, oh, man, it's on fire the next street over. I'm like, what? On fire? He's like, yeah. So we hop in the car, we go over there. The car is literally on fire, along with the field and everything. So apparently, when we left AutoZone and went up the hill to go after him, instead of them staying straight on the road, they turned and got on the railroad tracks. That's why the highway patrolman didn't see him go by, because they went behind the store. So they're on the railroad tracks, but they don't know criminals are not smart at all. They stole a car that had no brakes because I was buying the brake fluid. So when he was going down the railroad track, I guess he was going so fast, he was like, I need to slow down. Instead of slowing down, he hit brakes and he turned that bitch around. He did a whole 360, caught the field on fire. He got out. He left the title to the car. He stole my bag. I had my cameras, had my laptop, had my wallet, had everything in it. But they left the title to the car and the keys, so I appreciate that. But criminals are not smart at all, but they did get away. So they came, they took the car, they did evidence, they took fingerprints, they impounded it, they did everything, and it was like, we can't find nothing. So this is where it's going to get interesting. Remember the guy that spoke to me and said hello when I pulled up? He was riding with the guy that stole the car, that was buying the battery. He was buying a battery for his car, or his buddy's car, whoever, and he saw my car running, and on the video footage from the store, you could see them prying the door back on the passenger side as he just hops right in and drives right off. Like it was like some Gone in 60 Seconds type shit. It might have been Gone in 60 Seconds. I don't know. Maybe they was trying to live it out in real life. I have no idea what meth heads do for a living. But anyway, I got my stuff back. Now, this is gonna trip you out. So my cousin, he has a business of his own. We're not gonna go into details like that. So I called him and I tell him what happened, and he's like, man, that's crazy. He was like, what all did you lose? If something comes by here, then I'll definitely give you a call if anybody says anything or tries to sell me anything. I was like, I ain't bet. So I told him everything I had inside my book bag and everything they stole out the car. And at this point, I done got the car back out of impound. It's back at the shop. It's totaled. It's done. They destroyed it. And about a month or two go by, and I was just about, actually the day before he called, I was at Best Buy about to buy a new camera. And then I was like, you know what? The guy was like, the one you want we don't have in stock, but the truck comes in tomorrow so you can get one. I was like, all right, cool. So the next morning, so I'm planning to go get a new camera this day and equipment and everything. He calls me. He's like, hey man, it's early. It's like 8:30, 7:30, something like that. And he's like, hey man, I need you to video call me real quick. And I was like, bro, I'm still in the bed. I was like, I ain't video calling you, what's up? He's like, nah man, there's a guy over here trying to sell me some studio equipment. I was like, studio equipment? I was like, man, I don't need no studio equipment, forget all that. He's like, nah man, I think you really need to come check this out. You need to look at this, some good stuff. I was like, alright man, video call me. So when he video calls me, his brother, he knew about it too. He's looking in the camera like, yo. Like, he trying to give me the eye to let me know what's up. Like, this probably your stuff. So the dude gets on the phone and he's like, hey man. He's like, I got this stuff for sale. I got a Canon mirrorless camera. I got the GoPro Hero 9 Black. And I got the Media Mod attachment for it. I got microphones. I got a gimbal. It says DJI on it. Man, I got all kinds of stuff, man. You need to check it out. I was like, oh, for real? I was like, that's crazy. What you want for it? He's like, well, man, it's worth about $3,000 or $4,000, but I'll take $800 for it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, bet. I'm coming to get it. So I hop up immediately. I could have went out the house with my boxes on. I was so upset. I'm thinking it's the guy that stole my car. So the detective told me if you get any leads to let me know. But like I said, My cousin has a business of his own, so we decided to leave the police out of it. So I hop in the car, I take off, and I'm headed to my cousin's house. And the whole way there, I'm just thinking, like, what am I gonna do to this dude when I catch his ass? Because if this the dude that stole my car, it's about to go down. But it didn't look like him on the video call. So I pull up, the guy's sitting there, and I was like, you the one selling this stuff? And he's like, yeah. I was like, all right, let me check it out. So we go in there. I already got the box to my camera, to my DJI gimbal, and everything. So we go in, and I'm like, yo, you ain't got a bag for this? He got it all in a plastic bag. And he's like, nah, man, I ain't got a bag, because it was in my black GoPro bag when he stole it. So I'm wondering, like, why you ain't got it in a bag? He's like, nah, man, I ain't got a bag, you know what I'm saying? I was like, okay. So I look at the camera. The second I lay eyes on it, I already know it's my stuff from the get-go. So I ain't want to do him like that from the start. And I'm looking at the guy. I know it's not the guy that stole my car. So I wasn't going to go too crazy on him. So I grab the camera and the gimbal, and I take it out to my truck. And I'm looking at the box, and I match the VIN numbers. I already know it's mine. So now I'm like, okay, so now I got to break the bad news to him. But before we do that, I want to make sure that he ain't got nothing else in mind. So I had 2 GoPros. I had the Canon mirrorless camera, the one I'm using right now, my GoPro Hero 9 Black, and my first ever GoPro, which is the GoPro Hero 5 Black. And it was in a plastic, but it wasn't in there. So I was like, yeah, man, I was like, it'd be good if you had like a bag or something. And he was like, nah, man. I was like, what about the memory card to the camera? I was like, because I had, like I said, I had content on this camera for you guys everywhere. And he was like, nah, man, I ain't got no memory card for it either. And I'm playing dumb. I was like, how am I gonna get it to record if I don't have a memory card? He's like, oh, man, it works. It's some good stuff, man. It's practically brand new. So I pulled my cousin to the side, and I was like, bro, that's my stuff. And my cousin Buddy, if you're from Anderson, you know my cousin Buddy, then you know my cousin Buddy. So we ain't gonna go into that details either. But my cousin Chris, he's not really about the drama. So he was like, I told him it was mine, and he grabs the dude and pulls him inside. And my cousin Buddy, he getting upset, so he locks us outside the house, and he's talking to the guy, and I don't know what he said to him or what, but as soon as the dude come out, the dude was like, I'm sorry, man, you can have it. Like, he's like freaked out, like about to cry. He was like, man, you can have your stuff. I'm sorry, man, I didn't steal your car. I was like, yeah, you did, man. I was like, you stole my car from AutoZone. It was you. No, man, I swear to God, man, I swear to God. And he gave me the dude's name and was like, that's the dude I got it from, man. He said he had robbed somebody for it, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, I bought it off, I gave him $400, but man, you can have it all back. You can have it all back. I was like, what a bag at? Where my wallet at? He's like, the bag's in the truck, and it's in the truck, you can have it. So we walk out to the truck, and there's my GoPro bag. I was like, I thought you said you didn't have a bag, so what's up? He's like, no, man, you can have it back, you can have it all. So I go through the bag, I found the memory card that had all my content on it. So I put it back inside the camera, and you don't want to know what I found. It was nothing but tweakers. Did I mention tweakers? Nothing but tweakers. How many times can I say that? Tweakers. But anyways, it was ridiculous. He was going crazy. He started shaking and freaking out. He said he had Parkinson's or something like that. And I was like, man, we're not going to put our hands on you. We're not going to hurt you. So I pulled up a picture. I was on Facebook scrolling one day, and I saw this ad of a guy. Our Anderson County Sheriff's Office posts criminals on their page all the time on Facebook. And I saw the picture of a guy. And I was like, that's the guy that stole my car. And he had just been arrested. And his charges were like Grand Theft Auto, stealing cars, and assault and battery, and possession with intent to distribute methamphetamine. Just all kinds of crazy charges on this guy. And I'm like, that's the guy that stole my car. So at this point, I feel like I'm doing a better job than the detective himself. So I called the detective. I was like, yo, I just want to let you know I got my stuff back. And he's like, wow, who'd you get it from? And I was like, honestly, I don't even know the guy's name, but he told me who he got it from. And I pulled up a picture and showed it to him. I was like, is that the guy you got my stuff from? And he was like, yes, that's him. He's in jail right now on theft charges. And he was like, okay, I'll take that information down. He was like, I'll go down to the county and I'll question him. Now, he might not admit to it. He might lawyer up right away, but I'm glad you got your stuff back. And that was the end of that. He never called me back. I don't know if he questioned them or none of that. So the GoPro Hero 5 Black, I didn't get back. He tried to keep that. It was at his house, and he was like, oh man, the next day, he's like, I'll give it. The day before when it happened, he was like, I'll give it back to you, man. It's at my house. You don't have to worry about that. So the next day, he's texting me, and I was like, yo, I need to come get that GoPro. And he was like, oh man, that's messed up how y'all did me yesterday, man, and blah da 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 da. I was like, bro, I'm not trying to hear all that. I need that GoPro, like, now. So me and my cousin, we got together and we just pulled over to his house, and he gave the GoPro back, and that was it. I never seen him again. He didn't have to give me my stuff back, so to be a tweaker, he could have just hopped in the truck and ran off if he wanted to, but I didn't have him involved with the detective because he could have got locked up for receiving stolen goods. I was just glad to have my stuff back. But the guy that did do it, I don't guess justice will ever be served for him, because it kind of is, because he's locked up on charges, but they're not the charges for him stealing my stuff. But justice be served from the big man up above, but until then, I'm not worried about it. So I got my stuff back. I'm going to add a clip in here. You guys will probably see it of them driving off in my car and Tokyo drifting out of there like it was Dominic Toretto or something like that. But other than that, that's the crazy story I wanted to tell you guys, why I haven't posted anything and why I haven't posted any content lately. But I'm back now, so get used to seeing this face, because you're going to see me a lot now. I'm out.